Coming up on News Live at 6, it's bagel time. Schoolyard Bagels opening today. What the new Marshall Street shop is serving up.
Are hurting small businesses. Find out how they are responding.
And record temperatures possibly coming to the 315. I'll have more, but News Live at 6 starts.
TV News Live at 6, your campus news leader.
The wait is finally over. Marshall Street welcomed a highly anticipated bagel shop today. Thanks for joining us at 6. I'm Nicole Aponte.
And I'm Chilekasi, Adele. Here's a live look from Schoolyard Bagels, outside Schoolyard Bagels, as day one concludes. Now, earlier today, students, faculty, workers converging on the corner of Marshall Street and University Avenue to get their hands on a bagel. But before opening day, Nicole and I got a first-hand look. Watch this. Marshall Street. It's an area in the shadow of the Syracuse campus, a bazaar of all different sorts of food. There's big chains, local guys, and even places we've lost. Rip Jimmy John's. But if you're looking for a bagel,
you know, I have to drive, I have to take my car to the lot.
Well, I usually DoorDash it to my dorm.
It usually isn't coming from here. Water Street is about a 7-minute drive, and DeWitt Bagel Company isn't right around the block either.
Order it up. Do it now.
But a new shop aims to change that. Schoolyard Bagels is opening up at the corner of Marshall and University Ave, and its owners believe there's a need.
With such a big downstate presence that's going to school here between Long Island, the 5 boroughs, Jersey, Westchester, what have you, that how can I have a bagel store up here?
Listen, lots of people from downstate will have big expectations, right? Well, the people here at Schoolyard think their bagel making process will give them a little taste of home.
At the end of the day, it's about, one, the recipe, but more importantly, the proofing process.
Yep, the bagels are proofed on racks like these after being shaped. They're boiled and then baked. Plain, everything, you name it.
That's a big bite. Give it an 8-1. Rated like a 9.1.
Members of the SU football team had some high praise for the bagels. There's also a lot of sandwiches too, like the vodka parm. Carmine Cura is the main chef and co-owner here. He hails from Queens and is now taking his cooking skills to the mainstream.
Anybody who's been in the kitchen enjoys cooking. You get creative with stuff, and that's what I like to do. Listen, as long as they tell me, Carmine, keep cooking it, keep making it, that's a good sign.
Now, he and co-owner Nick Castronovo, who actually meant working as stock traders in North Jersey, will welcome those waiting and ready.
I'm excited. I love bagels. I hope it works out very well, and I'm excited to try it.
Even until 3 in the morning some days, hoping to make the trip for a fresh bagel a little bit shorter. A big venture for Nick Castronovo, Carmine Cura, and Pete Lombardo. Schoolyard Bagels is co-owners. By the way, some of those sandwiches that we talked about, they've got names, like the one with the vodka parm chicken cutlet, named the Frankie Boy for Carmine's son, Frankie, who's actually helping out at the show.
When you meet those people, they just radiate good energy, like just good people energy. Yeah. So good people energy means good food too.
And we talk about Marshall Street and what's changed with it, right? There's so many corporate chains, right? You don't want to be biased, but at the same time, you also want to root for your small businesses.
Seeing a local
succeed.
shop there too, it's absolutely fantastic. And as someone who's from Long Island, New York, from I think the bagel capital of the entire United States, it's great to have a little slice of home here at SU.
For sure.
Well, in some more local business news, we are now just a few days away from Super Bowl Sunday, and bars in Syracuse are preparing with special drink deals.
Saturday we have the event, which is kind of like a Valentine's Day, like Super Bowl kind of party. Okay. And then for the Super Bowl itself, we're doing kind of like a Super Bowl themed margarita. Okay. And then we're doing $5 drafts and $5 Coronas.
Sebastian Ramirez. He says the restaurant is expected to be packed all weekend leading up to the big game. Now, Marg's usually closes at 9 p.m. on Sundays, but will stay open this Sunday until the end of the game. And while most bars downtown will be open for the Chiefs and 49ers, a Benjamin Franklin's employee tells us that that bar will not be opening for the Super Bowl.
Interesting. The SU Office of Multicultural Affairs and the LGBTQ Resource Center are holding a night at the museum at the Schaefer Art Building tonight. 7:30.
The event will feature an artist talk with Brooklyn-based painter Ron Bowen and a reception where attendees can meet Bowen and view his work, as well as connect with others in the community. Well, how great is that? Let's turn to that first look at our weather.
It is way too warm outside.
I love it. Look, the sun's out, my mood's up, things are great.
That is the one good part about this nice weather. It's like you start sweating a little bit, but hey, everybody's happy.
Everyone's happy. The sun's out. I feel like it's just the instant dopamine, right? That's what you get when you're happy.
Vitamin D, the whole 9 yards. Yeah.
I love it. Well, you know who knows more about the weather going on right now in our area is our weather anchor, Luke Welch. Hey, Luke.
Nicole and Chile, I know I was happy today too, but let's take a look into our temperatures right now. We're sitting around 47 degrees, and for a Syracuse night, I know I'd be wishing that during the day last week. There's some intermittent clouds around, and so if you're going out to a late class or the dining hall, you might want to grab a jacket because those winds are sitting around 8 to 9 miles per hour. But let's take a look if that's the same around our area. We see highs in the high 40s in Rochester at 48. And here in Syracuse and in Fulton, we are sitting at 47, and a low down up in Rome at 41. So low to high 40s around our area consistently. But let's take a look later into tonight. We're only going to drop a few degrees around 43. However, those clouds are going to continue and those wind gusts are going to pick up. So if you're headed out tonight, you might want to grab a jacket. That's all I have now, but stay tuned for your full 5-day forecast later in the show. Nicole, Chile, back to you.
Luke, thanks so much. 43 degrees. That is unheard of this time of year in Syracuse. Postal taxes have been on the rise ever since the start of the U.S. Postal Service's 10-year Delivering for America plan, which is meant to seek financial stability within the Postal Service. As our Caitlin Campbell reports, the increases can affect your daily mail, but also small businesses. Hey, Caitlin.
Hi, Nicole. Yeah, in 2021, the United States Postal Service launched the Delivering for America plan, in which financial rewards was the goal. But through this initiative, taxes on stamps and packages services are increasing. Normally, with a package or letter here and there, you would not notice a difference, but small businesses are feeling the effects. From inventory to customer delivery, small businesses are feeling the impact of the postal price increases. With a 5 to 6% increase in shipping services, businesses have had to alter their ways.
So we actually bring in inventory from both nationwide and international. So the freight charges and the tariffs are getting up there in price, if you will. Unfortunately, I don't like to pass that on to the customer because I just don't think that's fair. But some of them have been eating into our profit margins. We try to cut down on the amount of custom orders that we do, just because, you know, when they're outside of a bulk order, it costs more for shipping. So we kind of come halfway with our customers. So they pay pretty much for half for shipping, and then we'll pay the other half.
Yeah, we have definitely seen it in both capacities. We don't do a ton of shipping because of the rising cost of postage generally. We've really been trying to not up price as much as possible or raise our prices as much as possible. With that, we are taking a cut in some of the products we carry just because we are losing those margins with the cost of postage. But there are other products that we've sort of opted to find local or closer to home substitution.
For some, creative alternatives have been found to combat these increases. Owner of Sweet on Chocolate, Adam Mazzoni, describes their shipping method.
We do all our postage online through a great company called ShipStation. They, to my understanding, work with the USPS, but they negotiate rates and you get a pretty good rate compared to going to the post office yourself.
While small businesses may need extra assistance, the Small Business Administration is here to lend that helping hand.
Ideally, we can help them plan for that so that they're prepared when an emergency or a disaster, for example, might interrupt their business operations.
Price adjustments for the future are still unsure, but the goal of stability by 2030 is still the mission. Caitlin Campbell, CitrusTV News.
Thanks, Caitlin. New details tonight for the Central New York Ballet, the company unveiling its first major performance for this April. This comes just a few months after a handful of ballet dancers were fired from the Syracuse City Ballet after demanding changes in working conditions and artistic direction. Last December, that group of dancers established the Central New York Ballet. The company will perform Swan Lake Act 2 and Bolero on April 6th and 7th at the On Center.
To this now, a Syracuse man has been arrested for his involvement in the January 6th Capitol riot. According to the Department of Justice, Aaron Sauer, a supposed member of the Central New York Proud Boys, is facing multiple charges, including destruction of government property, assaulting, resisting, or impeding certain officers, disorderly conduct, and a charge for a physical act of violence on Capitol grounds.
According to the FBI, photos show Sarah kicking a black metal fence on the Lower West Terrace and moving metal barriers around the same area. Syracuse landlord William D'Angelo has agreed to pay for lead paint cleanup in 22 low-income properties. He's also planning on giving $5,000 to 16 children suffering from lead poisoning. The Attorney General's office announced this deal earlier today as a strategy to resolve the lead paint issue in the city.
The deal marks a new plan to keep landlords with lead paint violations in their position until they repair the problems at their expense. This comes after a lawsuit that resulted in another Syracuse landlord being banned from owning residential property due to multiple lead paint findings.
Coming up, a critical moment in the race to replace Congressman Brandon Williams. Which Democrat will be the favorite here in Onondaga County? Stay tuned to find out.
If you're buzzed and doing this, to make yourself feel okay to drive,
ZWX.
You're not okay to drive.
YGKLVW. Regular you.
You quit smoking and thought, that's that. But here's the thing about lung cancer. By the time you see the symptoms, it could be too late. But now, there's a new scan that can detect lung cancer early, when it's more curable. If you smoked, get scanned. Talk to your doctor or learn more at savedbythescan.org.
Most party fouls are pretty dumb. But if you decide to drink and drive underage, you could lose your license and your freedom. Underage drinking and driving. The ultimate party foul.
Meet Norm. He lives with anxiety, but with the help of this latest innovation from Be Normal, he can be normal, just like everyone else. With the swipe of a finger, you can project happiness, confidence, machismo. Why settle for being real when you can be normal? The Normal Maker, new from Be Normal. This item doesn't really work because there's no such thing as normal. We're all different. What we like, how our brains work. In fact, 1 in 5 of us live with mental illness. Don't filter who you are. Start by talking to someone you trust. And remember, there is no normal.
You're watching Citrus TV News live at 6 with Chilekasi Adele, Nicole Aponte, and Luke Welch. Now, your campus news leader continues.
Welcome back to News Live at 6. To the latest now. A former Olympic athlete and longtime track coach with ties to Syracuse University pleaded guilty Thursday to charges of sexually molesting young boys. Conrad Mainwaring molested campers at Camp Greylock in western Massachusetts from 1975 to 1979. Mainwaring was an RA at SU and aided the track team. 14 men in the greater Syracuse area have accused Mainwaring of molesting or abusing them. 41 men have accused him overall. SU is not commenting at this time, citing pending litigation.
To Washington now, where special counsel Robert Hur has concluded that President Biden should not be charged for his handling of classified documents, but that he willfully retained classified information. This comes from a nearly 400-page document released today. Hur says the president had the documents after his term as vice president at his home in Delaware, some of them about military and foreign policy in Afghanistan. The White House says it is pleased by the results, but is criticizing references to the president's old age and mental capacity during the report, calling them inaccurate and inappropriate. 5 Marines aboard a helicopter in San Diego are confirmed dead after it went down in stormy weather. Authorities say the helicopter vanished Tuesday night while returning to a base in San Diego following training in Las Vegas.
Efforts to recover the remains of the victims have begun, and an investigation into the crash is underway. The helicopter was found Wednesday morning an hour outside of San Diego.
Coming up, your full 5-day forecast and a new feed for temperatures here in the Salt City. You're watching Citrus TV, your campus news leader. Stick with us.
It's not that hard.
My big man fingers are having a problem with these little tiny buttons.
Whoa, watch it there. Your blood pressure's gonna go through the roof.
Tell me about it. I'm trying to learn how to get it down. Instead, it keeps going up.
High blood pressure can increase the risk for heart attack or stroke. Learn how to keep yours at a healthy range.
Ever hear a voice command? Just say text barbershop to 97779.
That's not what I said.
Just give me that. Now my blood pressure's up.
Well, Thomas, you've got pre-diabetes. But with more exercise and a change in diet, it can be reversed.
I've tried exercising. It just makes me hungry for bacon.
I love bacon, too. And who really likes to exercise?
Not me.
Me neither.
Nobody. So we're good?
What? Oh, you still have pre-diabetes. Big time.
They call me Maxie, but I prefer tripod. I was your above-average four-legged homie, and then wham, bam, minivan. Some people pity me. Now that's lame. I still run, fetch, and swim. And the ladies love me. I'm the ultimate wingman. Just don't ask me to high five.
From the CitrusTV Weather Center, this is SU's most accurate weather forecast.
Taking another check of the weather at 6:16 now. Luke Welch joins us here at the desk. And Luke, dude, it's been warm out there, man.
It really has. I mean, I'm not complaining, though. I love these temperatures.
Usually around this time, I already feel like there's always snow here in Syracuse. But the fact that I was sweating on the way to class today, I had no jacket coming into the studio today. This is fantastic. Is this usually normal for Syracuse this time of year?
It really isn't, and it made me want to check something. So I took a look at the record temperatures for February in the back. Now let's take a look at this, guys.
Okay.
Let's take a look at your screen. We see almost record temperatures today. We see today, February 8th, we were sitting around 57 degrees. However, it was 60 degrees. That's the record temperature set back in 1925.
We almost made it.
Right, and let's take a look at tomorrow. The record was 59 degrees back in 1925 again, and tomorrow it's expected to be the same, 59 degrees. However, this isn't over. Saturday. In 2001, it was 56 degrees. On Saturday, this Saturday, it'll be 57 degrees.
Breaking records
right?
Well,
here in the Salt City.
That Friday one too.
It could be close. Let's
you're
keep
wrong.
an eye on it, yeah. And if you guys were thinking, oh, these warmer temperatures, that means no snow, right? Well, let's take a look at your 5-day forecast. We see some snow coming in on Sunday early morning and on Tuesday, but for now, let's take a look at Fridays. It's going to be cloudy, some afternoon showers, a high of 59, a low of 44. Now, it's going to be pretty much the same on Saturday until we hit Sunday morning, as I said. Some possible flurries in the morning. It'll be around 30, 31 degrees. However, it won't last long as it's going to pick up to the mid-40s. And we take a look into Monday and Tuesday early next week. We're going to see some clouds, some possible snow showers on Tuesday with a low of 21 and a high of 35. That's all I have for now. And we'll have one last look at your wake-up later in the show. Nicole, Chile.
Luke, thanks so much. Well, the race for Congress here in Central New York is one of the most competitive in the country. A meeting happening now across town could shape who is on the ballot.
Joining us now is Citrus TV's political reporter, Luke Radel, who follows this race very closely for us. Luke, Onondaga County Democrats are hoping to determine who will be best positioned to face off against Republican Congressman Brandon Williams in November. What are the options and who's got the momentum here?
Yeah, absolutely. Chile and Nicole, it's great to be with you. I'm here outside the Valley American Legion where Onondaga County Democrats are meeting right now to choose their favorite candidate to face off against first-term incumbent Republican Congressman Brandon Williams in November. And literally 30 seconds ago, I walked out of that room after hearing the results of who they've chosen to be their favorite candidate. Right now, the vote totals that were cast indicate that 73.2% of the members of the Onondaga County Democratic Committee want John Mannion, the state senator from District 50, to be their candidate against Brandon Williams come November. Sarah Hood came in second place with around 23% of the vote, and college professor Clemmy Harris came in third place with a distant 3.2% of the vote. Now, these are committee members, people who are involved in Democratic politics from across the county, telling the people in this county that they support John Mannion to run against Brandon Williams in the fall. Meanwhile, Congressman Brandon Williams was in Utica earlier today. He was speaking about issues of immigration and border security. Take a listen to a message that he had directly for President Joe Biden.
Mr. President, you must close the border now. Yes. You have the ability to do that. It is your constitutional obligation. The The American people want our border secure. Amen. And that needs to happen today. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Do you want me to answer any questions? Thank you.
Now you see there at the end the congressman refusing to take questions from the assembled press. He's been reluctant to take questions in any format, whether from the press or from town hall meetings. He promised last summer that he'd do 13 town halls and only did 5. He has also made false claims about the border bill that was put together by the United States Senate, a group of senators from across the political spectrum that has the support of the White House. So Brandon Williams making a case about border security. Meanwhile, Congressman Brandon Williams has some opponents, the 3 opponents that are fighting for this designation tonight. John Mannion is the one, though, who ultimately is going to get it. Chile and Nicole, sending it back over to you in studio.
All right, Luke, coming up in sports, Syracuse women's basketball returns to the 3-1-5. After the break, I'll have your live report inside the Dome and tell you about one player who is returning from injury for the Qs.
You know, from a young age, I definitely want to major in political science, become the mayor or something, make the situation better for other people. My name is Justin, and I am your dividend.
Life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome. Prediabetes does. 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes, but with early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. And you can change the outcome. Take the 1-minute prediabetes risk test today. Go to doihaveprediabetes.org.
Put the keys down, Kevin.
But I'm gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
I guess I have really been looking for love in this dating app. Yep, I'm definitely gonna call a ride home.
Women are bad with money.
It's what the world's been saying for centuries.
But now, we've got something to say.
Save it. Save the old-fashioned advice, the empty excuses. It's all worthless, unlike us.
To our fellow females, it is time to save ourselves by saving our money.
Contributing to our futures, investing in our independence.
Until we're no longer 80%
more likely than men to live in poverty in retirement.
So again, we say to that, save it.
The falsehoods, the feelings of fault, then the funds.
Learn how to save for your retirement at wesaysaveit.org.
And now, your CitrusTV Sports Report.
Number 23, Syracuse hosts unranked Georgia Tech inside the Dome. Welcome into your sports report. I'm Nick Luttrell. We're just over 30 minutes left until tip-off for Syracuse women's basketball. A storyline to look out for tonight is the return of Isabel Varejão. The 6'4" center from Brazil is set to return for the Orange tonight. She's been out with an undisclosed injury since early December, but when we talked to head coach Felicia Leggett-Jack earlier this week, she told us Varejão would be playing tonight. Should be very exciting to watch her back in the lineup. That's the storyline. The other storyline is the team that Syracuse is playing, Georgia Tech. The Yellow Jackets have taken down the Orange 5 straight times, dating back to 2018. When we talked to head coach Felicia Leggett-Jack, this is what she said about her opponent tonight.
So they got some really poignant players that's going to really bring a fight to the game. But what I don't talk about to my players the day of the game, or the day before the game, is about them. It's about us. Just bring who we are, and what we are, it may not be better than what they can bring, but if we can be better than them for 40 minutes, that's all that matters.
Words from Coach Jack for sure. No matter the opponent, you know this SU team will come ready to play tonight. Another SU team that came ready to play was the men's basketball team. Last night, the Orange poured on close to 100 points in a 94-92 win over Louisville. Offense was easy to come by on both sides, especially for Chris Bell, who had a career day with 30 points, knocking down 8 three-pointers. That's right, 8 in the victory over Louisville. Head coach Adrian Autry was asked how do you coach a player when he's that hot? Autry's response, get him the ball.
My job is to get him shots when he's going like that, and we came out of a couple of timeouts, executed a couple of plays to get him a couple of little pin downs and some shots. But when a guy's in the zone like that, you don't have to say much. Only thing you're talking to is other people making sure that they get him the ball.
Thank you for being prepared in advance to respond calmly in an emergency.
And Bell's teammates certainly got the ball to him a lot last night. They'll need to keep doing that for SU's next matchup Saturday against Clemson. It'll be the return of Joe Girard to Syracuse. Girard, of course, spent his first 4 seasons with the Orange before transferring to the Tigers at the end of the season. All right, as basketball winds down over the next few weeks, that means lacrosse season is back in the 3-1-5. For the men's lacrosse team, they're looking very good to start this season with wins over Colgate and Vermont. They'll try to go to 3-0 tomorrow afternoon in this dome. It won't be a basketball court behind me. It'll be a lacrosse field. Going up against the Manhattan Jaspers. Face-off is set for 4 o'clock. So that's what's going on for men's lacrosse. Women's lacrosse, they're set to begin their 2024 campaign on Saturday afternoon. And they got a tough one. They're going up against the Northwestern Wildcats, the best team in all of college lacrosse. Izzy Skane for the Wildcats was last year's Tewaaraton winner, the award given to the best college lacrosse player. She returns this season for her 6th year for the Wildcats. And on the flip side, Syracuse no longer has the Megans, Megan Tyrell and Megan Carney, but return the Emmas, Emma Tyrell and Emma Ward, both of whom are preseason All-Americans. SU is also 5th in the preseason polls. That's going to do it from your sports report here inside the Dome. Chile and Cole will send it back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Nick. Can SU women's lacrosse finish this season alone? That's the question going into this one as they continue their meteoric rise again. Final check of the weather when we come back.
I see you mobbing over her. Let's go. Let's mob. Let's crawl. Let's crawl. Let's crawl. Hey, yo, we mobbing. Come on, girl. Let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl. Hey, let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl.
Welcome back to News Live at 6. Let's take one look at what your weather is going to be like when you wake up tomorrow. So it's going to be around 41 degrees, It's going to be pretty cloudy throughout the day. So if you're heading out to class, you might want to grab a jacket or something like that. Similar temps today, though, so you might want to drop that jacket, actually, throughout the afternoon. But that's what we're going to see tomorrow. Guys, I know I said it's going to be pretty cloudy throughout the day, but something else I think it's going to be throughout the day is a little bit rainy, so if you have a jacket, I don't know if this suit would help, but you might need a rain jacket.
Watch out.
Yeah.
Look, it's raining here in the studio. I like that suggestion.
How did I know that was coming?
Look, it's Luke Welch.
We got to keep Thursday news fun, guys.
Come on.
Thursday news has to be
Always
fun.
up to trouble.
Syracuse, City of Syracuse is getting some recognition tonight. The Salt City was named the 22nd best place to live in the Northeast by Livability. It's a website that ranks the most livable small and mid-sized cities throughout the U.S.
Also, on that list, some other cities upstate, like Albany, Rochester, and Buffalo. I don't know.
Oh, okay, I love Syracuse.
I love it too.
I love it. It's been my home for 4 years. We're about to leave. So it's been like that makeshift home for me, and it's been great.
Maybe if it was a little bit sunnier, I'd like it a little more.
Well, the rain's definitely coming.
One thing I've learned about living here, thank God for the people who live here. seasonal depression is a real
It's a real thing. Well, sadly, that's Citrus TV News Live at 6 for this Thursday.
Yeah, for more of the latest, don't forget to follow us on X and Instagram at Citrus TV News. Now, for the entire Citrus TV News team, I'm Chilekasi.
I'm Nicole Aponte. Have a great night, Syracuse, and enjoy that sun.